had some sneak into this crossing while I was getting set up. I could barely see something moving in the dark, but I think it just turned around and went back out into the corn. Here we go. Just saw a nice healthy little buck out in the corn. Little basket rack. I think he came from the woods behind me, worked out into the corn, and is working to the woods on the other side. It's good to see something. There's no wind, just thermals. Very good chance of getting busted today. So I've not seen anything since that little buck up on the edge there. Nothing really seems to be moving. It's so still. And I just don't think they're very comfortable when it's this still. They'll do stuff, but I don't think they move real far and move very comfortably when there's no wind at all. Well, no sign of anything. The wind just started picking up, and so I'm hoping that that will maybe get some stuff on its feet since it's been so dead all morning. If I don't see anything pretty soon, I'm gonna get down and go scope out a couple places a little closer to the bean field for tonight, because the wind is supposed to switch and be blowing up out of the south, right up the wood line. And then I've got some stands to move on the other side of the property. Big old groundhog. I don't have an arrow that I want to waste on him, so I guess he's going to survive. But check out what I found. Giant puffballs. Take one for today and save some for the rest of the week. I scouted a thick little swampy bedding area that I like to no avail, but I still think it'd be worth setting up on some other time. Then I just snuck down through this other bottom. There's nothing in it, so I'm gonna go over here and move a stand so we can get some better use out of it with the kids, because the does have us pegged for the most part. So I'm gonna put it in a little bit different spot so we can get the element of surprise back with them. It's actually where I shot my buck from last gun season, so it's a great stand for stuff cruising through, but the does that live here throughout the year pretty much know to look up in that tree. So time to move. So I'm pretty frustrated with options here. Our stand is right there, and the understory has just gotten so thick that it overpowers the field. You just can't see out into the field at all. But there's just such a lack of trees to set up in out there. Probably just gonna leave it what it is this year. And I've got another stand across the creek that I need to bring over here somewhere, but there's just no trees over here to set up on our property. So I'm really frustrated. I made this little blind here that I can sit two people in, me on a stool right there, and then another person probably like on a short stool right there. Lots of good cover there to cover this whole bottom corner with a bow or a gun. But I just don't know what to do about our stands. All right, I'm back on the same property as this morning. About 80 yards from where it was set up. The wind shifted big time today, and it's it's actually blowing now. So I'm hoping I can sit in the corner of this field, wait for him to stage up in the woods and pop out into the corn. A farmer said he's been seeing him come out into the corn pretty much every night in a couple different spots. You can't see this spot from the road, and so I'm hoping that's the case here too. I can't see anything in these woods behind me, so I just gotta be still, quiet, and wait for him to pop out. These are not the nuts you were looking for. Well, nothing yet. Except apparently I'm on the main squirrel trail. That one was coming straight for me. And then a few minutes ago I had one run down the tree, jump off this branch and smack me with his tail. The size of a house cat. Gotta watch my back. Well, it's finally not as hot out here. As soon as that sun gets behind those trees, I'm gonna put another shirt on and get ready. And hopefully once that coolness kind of hits everything, they start coming out. We're almost in the shadows. There is a big 8-point bone white antlers to my left, down along the wood line in the beans. Probably not gonna get a shot of him because I can barely see him with my binoculars, but I'm gonna keep an eye on him, see if he hopefully he comes up this way. There's a couple doe down there with him. Tall tines, his rack comes all the way together and almost touches in the front. As I'm watching these deer to my right and know that the big buck is still somewhere to my left, a whole bunch of small bucks and does start moving up the cornfield in front of me. One of the little ones that was with the big one pops out from the left there and joins them. So I'm just trying to hold still and wait for the big one to come out. As all this is happening, I start hearing footsteps 10 yards to my left. The small buck walks right underneath me. Meh. Meh. She's down. Meat on the table. Yeah, you blow and screw around, you'll finally get it. I saw her go down in the field, but now I can't find her. But the other deer is still sniffing around right out in the middle there where I saw her go down, so she's gotta be right there. I just can't see her through the corn. I'm gonna give it a few minutes and I'm just gonna drive out there in the van. I think a vehicle will spook the deer less than me walking around all over the place. I don't know why they turned around and came back again. All that perfect wind that was blowing in my face all night died, and then all the deer came out. So my scent was just hanging around. It's probably a good thing that big one didn't come up the hill. Last I saw him, he was coming up the hill, and every deer I saw over there was doing the same thing. 2 does, 2 more little bucks. Actually, a 3-year-old that looked pretty nice too. But they never came up here out into the field. But that was a good night. Saw one for the wall, shot one for the freezer. Here we go. Smells good. Smells like clean lung blood. That pop sounded perfect when it hit her. First deer with the lift. All right, I'm back with the van. This is where she turned the row and headed out to where she piled up. Go out and get her. I didn't worry about following the blood too close. There she is. I'd say she's toasted. That's the exit. Oh, that's a nice doe. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. There's the entrance. She was quartered away, so I didn't hit her quite where I wanted to. Probably would have wanted to be a little bit more forward, but she went down about 100 yards and there was plenty of blood trail on that Magnus. I'm definitely pretty happy with that. I'm putting this in the video so that I remember to do it next time. I forgot my bungee cord, so I can't tie her to the sled. So I just twisted around her legs and then twist it around again. It locks it in there. Works really good. Well, there we go. That's a great opening night. I was just gonna wait and let that big buck come out, and I thought he was heading up the hill to me. I lost him in all the trees, but one of these deer got to the edge of the woods and blew and busted everything. But then that little buck came right under me. They came out again. They just kept coming back. I thought they were done for sure the last time they blew, but then they all came back. So at that point, I figured a big old smart buck is not going to come up the hill. So time to put meat in the freezer. Let the new bow eat. Oh, that's awesome. That's a great opening day. Oh, I forgot. I've had a 3-year streak of not being able to get a doe with my bow. I've shot bucks, but a wounded one in the shoulder 3 years ago. Shot some with guns. Last year had 2 that I lost. One I know died, but a buck ran her off. And so this is my no bow doe streak breaker right here. It's fun to do it with the lift.